My husband and daughter have both been asking me to cover this movie for months. 7 months of him saying, Jen, music and lyrics, when are you going to do it? I wasn't sure because there are a few scenes that are anything but wholesome. But my husband said, just tell them about those parts. The rest, come on, it's a fantastic film. So here it is. Welcome to Wholesome TV Picks. I'm your host, Jennifer Avila, and this is the only podcast where every recommendation is backed by 35 plus years of watching wholesome TV your family can actually trust. Let's get into today's episode. My husband's and my favorite rom-com is Music and Lyrics, starring Hugh Grant and Drew Barrymore. This movie is about a has-been 80s star who has a chance to make a comeback by writing a song called Way Back Into Love by a Shakira / Britney Spears type singer who was a fan of his in his heyday for a band called Pop. The problem is, Alex doesn't write lyrics. He says it only worked with his former partner, and so he needs a lyricist. His publicist hires this guy who writes a revenge kind of a song. The lyrics he comes up with are not something that you would think of for a song titled Way Back Into Love. In comes Sophie Fisher, played by Drew Barrymore, who's just there to water Alex's plants. She overhears the lyricist and Alex working on the song, and she ends up uttering her own words to the melody that Alex is playing on the piano. It shocks Alex Fletcher. After 15 minutes of communicating with her, going back and forth with some scenes, he really believes she is a natural-born lyricist, despite her beliefs to the contrary. They end up partnering together, and then the whole movie is about them writing the song. You'll have so many laugh-out-loud moments with your spouse that will just make you feel good and happy all around, especially if you grew up in the 80s like I did. If you didn't, well, you're in for a treat because this film does an amazing job of taking you back to the 80s. My daughter loves this movie too, because she's a mini-me when it comes to 80s music, and this film crew did an amazing job creating a brand new 80s music video for a song called Pop Goes My Heart, which is the intro of this movie. It is so funny. I don't know how they did it, but they got every detail of 80s music video history in this little music video that they did. In Alex Fletcher's words, it's spot on. They got all the cheesiness, the hair, the dance moves, the background, the visual effects, the corny storylines that a lot of 80s music videos had in them. Hey, I'm an 80s music fanatic, and I know a lot of those videos were cheesy when you look back at them today, but we loved them. It's a shame music like this isn't made anymore. You'll experience the entire music writing process that's in this film, which both my daughter and I greatly appreciate as we are both learning musical instruments. I'm trying to learn the piano, she's trying to learn the guitar. If you think of your favorite song right now, no matter what genre it is, I don't know about you, but I always wonder, how do they do that? How do they come up with the melody and the right tones, the right pitch, and all that stuff that goes into it? I love the analogy that Sophie Fisher uses in this movie to describe how important music is. When Alex says that lyrics don't mean anything, she tells him, no, that's not true. The melody, that's like the instant attraction to somebody. But the lyrics, that's the person's song, who they are, their soul. That is such a great analogy. Isn't that true? There is a ton of humor in this movie. At the very beginning stages, they're kind of in this writer's block, and Alex is gently pecking out the Jeopardy theme song, and Sophie tells him that's really helpful. And it goes all night, and then the next morning, she tells Alex, I think we should get some breakfast. He says, nope, we're on a roll, we need to get another line. And she says, there will be no more rhymes until I'm fed. And he kind of gives this look, and then she says, I could be inspired with just a piece of bread. I just love the lines. The way that the writers came up with this is just fabulous. People who are clever that can think of these things and make people laugh, it just amazes me. Sophie's quick wit in this movie and how she comes up with these lyrics totally reminds me of my husband, who has ruined so many of my favorite 80s songs with his quick wit humor. I can't listen to these songs anymore because my husband and my sons always start laughing and they're always singing the lyrics that my husband made up. For instance, the old classic song, Then He Kissed Me by the Crystals. My husband changed the lyrics to, And Then He Kicked Me. Another song called Counting My Lucky Stars by Larry Bagby, who also happened to be in the movie Hocus Pocus, the guy that plays Ernie, aka Ice. Yeah, he sang this song, and it's a country love ballad. It's also sung on an episode of Cold Case, which is another fabulous show for couples to watch together. Anyways, my husband changed the lyrics to Counting My Lucky Charms. You know, the cereal? My kids absolutely love it, but it bugs the snot out of me because I can't enjoy these songs anymore without hearing those alternative lyrics that my husband thought of. I don't know how he comes up with this stuff, but anyways, this quick wit type of humor is what you hear in music and lyrics. After watching this, you may feel your older child or children may enjoy it as well. I would recommend it for children 11 and up, but here are the things that I deem inappropriate for my children. 1, the kissing scene between Alex and Sophie. It's not over the top, but it then leads to implied intimacy. The singer that I mentioned earlier, her name is Cora Corman. There's a few scenes where she's dressed very scantily, and the way she dances in the movie is very sexually charged, in my opinion. I don't want my daughter seeing it, so we skip it. My daughter knows the routine. She knows the lines of the movie that signal to her to say, Mom, is this the part where I close my eyes? And I'll tell her yes, and either she'll just not look at the screen, or I mute it until the scene passes, or I just fast forward through it. Later, when she's singing Way Back Into Love, she ruins it and turns it into this Indian kind of rap song that she sings for Alex and Sophie in the middle of the movie, but she's adding orgasmic sounds in the song too, and I'd rather not have my daughter hear that either, so that's another part that we skip. Finally, in the final scene of the movie, there's this concert that Cora is doing. The dancing is very inappropriate, in my opinion, for children. I will say my daughter does see how she's dressed very briefly, and it has led me in a conversation with her about how inappropriate it is to wear the kinds of things Cora is wearing in this movie at certain times. The influence it has on young girls who idolize celebrities and how young girls want to be like their role models. And if you want more TV show recommendations sent right to your inbox, already organized, join my email list. I've got everything broken down, no scrolling through the entire catalog, just instant access to the full list. I've been to many retro artists' concerts in the past. I love Richard Marx, Bryan Adams, Journey, and I've shared many stories with my husband about my previous concert experiences. There's a scene in this movie where Sophie is at her sister's house, whose name is Rhonda, played by Kristen Johnson. Rhonda is a huge pop fan, and Sophie's telling her sister how she met Alex from the band she liked and how he invited her to go see him perform tonight. The second Rhonda hears this, she's hyperventilating, and before Sophie can even finish her sentence, Rhonda yells, "Gary, I'm going out!" Gary is her husband's name. She runs out of scene, grabs her jacket, runs back into the kitchen, yanks her sister by the arm, and jets out of the apartment. This scene always makes my husband turn to my kids and say, "That's your mom." And my kids will just laugh because they go, "Yep, that's mom." I give my husband the evil eye because I don't think so. They always say, "Yeah, okay, Mom, whatever you say." I don't think I would be like that, but my kids and my husband seem to disagree with me. This is the kind of movie that just makes you forget about the chaos of the world. A way to escape and to take your mind off of your problems just for an hour and a half. It will leave you in a better mood than when you started watching it. My husband and I saw this when it came out in the theater back in 2006. This movie will turn 20 years old next year. Time flies by so fast. We always remember what theater we went to and where we went out to eat afterwards. So this has a special tie for us. And there's just something magical about this movie that I can't put my finger on. The biggest takeaway I want you to have from this movie is don't forget to take time to nurture your relationship with your spouse. Take time to sit down, relax, and veg out to this movie and escape from the chaos of the world right now. Remember what I said in the episode towards the end of The Incredible Journey a couple of weeks ago? That we all need to slow down and remember to be with the ones who love us. Coming up next week, I'm spotlighting an 80s animated TV series that I have a feeling most of you have never heard of. And you may be surprised that it was actually something shown on network television. Thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your week. Remember, your values matter and your TV should too. And I'll catch you on the next episode.